Hi, my name is Nick Ernst. The person that I chose to interview for this leadership interview activity was Ted Kramer. Ted was my former AAU basketball coach throughout my high school career. And some background about Ted: he served 8 years in the United States Army. And once Ted got out of the Army, he created his own basketball organization called the Spirit Warriors, which is an AAU organization located in Cincinnati, Ohio. Ted's really used this organization to really devote his life to basketball and use basketball as a gateway to influence young men to really devote their life to Jesus Christ and to live a Christian lifestyle. The reason that I chose Ted was because as a player that had him as a coach, I thought he was a great coach. He was the best basketball coach I've ever had, and our relationship prior to this interview was just he was my coach and I was his player, and that was it. And we talked basketball. But as a player that had him as a coach, I really thought that he was great, and I really thought that he was a great leader. But we never spoke on leadership and what it meant for him to be a successful leader of this basketball organization and a leader in life in general. Um, so some of the key leadership skills that we spoke about. Ted spoke a lot about patience. Ted spoke a lot about being a basketball coach and having a lot of different players and a lot of different teams year to year. Um, he really did his best to try to speak about leadership not just in a basketball sense, but in life. And he spoke about whether you're the CEO of a company or the professor of students at a university. You need to be patient with those who you're leading and those who are following you. Um, we spoke about the times that we had when he was my coach and I was his player, just about the times that we would be in a game and we would be down a lot of points, with only a couple minutes left, and you have to learn to be patient, even when times aren't going well. Um, and that also carries over to other leadership skills that he spoke about, which was positive attitude and body language. As a leader, not just in a basketball sense, but in life. If you're a leader of a group or of a team or of a company, as the leader, all of your followers or all your employees are going to be looking at you when times are tough, not only when times are good. Um, so he spoke a lot about having a positive attitude and a positive body language, no matter what the circumstance is. He spoke a lot about, in order to be an efficient and an effective leader, you need to be someone that has a positive attitude all the time, no matter how hard the times are, how good the times are. And I thought that was really neat, coming from him, because I saw that in him as a basketball coach. Other leadership skills that Ted spoke about was hard work and determination. Um, I thought it was really neat to hear him talk about his work ethic, um, how he's become such a successful basketball coach over the course of his 40 years of coaching. He's coached with some of the best coaches in the history of the game, such as Coach K out of Duke University and Bobby Huggins, who coached at the University of Cincinnati. Um, but he spoke a lot about work ethic and how to really have determination as a leader. When you're a leader of any kind of group or any kind of organization or anything like that, um, as the top dog, as the leader, you have to be determined to reach that goal, at the end of the tunnel. And hard work and work ethic falls right into place of determination. If you have a hard work ethic as far as a team or as a group or as a company, more times than not, you're going to be successful and you're going to reach that goal. Another leadership skill Ted talked about was care for others. This was one of the more serious things we spoke about, just because Ted spoke a lot about the amount of time and the amount of energy that he invests in his organization and in his players. Um, Ted spoke a lot about, when you're a leader, you can't just be someone that looks at you as a boss and the leader tells you what to do and those that are following you do it, and that's it. Ted spoke, investing time and getting to know your players, getting to know your coworkers or your employees or your students is such a key element to becoming an efficient and a successful leader. And he spoke about how that's why his organization and his program has been running for close to 40 years now. Because he shows parents, he shows other coaches of teams that if you invest time in your players and you invest time in your employees, then they're going to come back to you and they're going to look at you as someone that they want to have lead them in any sense, not just in basketball. Some of the key statements that Ted made, the one that I thought was most important out of our interview was he spoke about evolving as a leader. And, we talked about when he first started coaching basketball when he was 26, 27 years old. And he said, I'm a completely different coach. I'm a completely different leader than I was then. And he spoke a lot about, when you're a leader, you can always keep getting better at becoming a leader. And the people that you meet and the players that you coach, the employees that you're the boss of, you can learn a lot from them. And you can always become a better anything that you're doing, even if it's being a leader. He also spoke about not everyone can be led the same way. So he spoke a lot about the different teams that he's had when he's had 6 freshmen and 2 seniors on a team versus when he's had no seniors and nothing but sophomores and juniors on his team, and how he's had to change the way he leads certain teams based on the different environments that he's in. And we spoke about how that can be, related to anything in life in general, whether you're being the leader of a group in a school classroom activity, or if you're the boss of a company. You always have to evolve, and you always have to see what type of people that you have in your group, and change your leadership tactics based on that. That's going to get you to ultimately the common goal. My perception of Ted, after this interview, is that I learned a lot from him about leadership, and I learned a lot about him, not just as a basketball coach, but as a person, and someone who has a passion of basketball and hopes to, run my own AAU organization one day. I learned a lot about how to become that one day, and I'm really thankful for the interview that me and Ted were able to have. That's it. Thank you.